Hey everyone, how you doing today? It's me, David, Jersey Boy Music, coming to you from the Beatles Corner. So that means we're collecting the Beatles 101. Today we are going to talk about one more of these compilation albums from the 70s into the 80s. The Beatles, real music. So, First I want to say this was released March 22nd of 1982, and this was released in connection with the theatrical re-release of A Hard Day's Night. Cleaned up the film a bit, the prints, and put the sound in Dolby Stereo surround, and really spruced it up. But I never saw it in the theater ever. But let's take a little bit of a close-up look at this album, one of my patented close-up video things, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about the album. All right? All right, here we go. The Beatles' real music, featuring songs from the Beatles movies, A Hard Day's Night, Help, Magical Mystery Tour, Yellow Submarine, and Let It Be. And pretty interesting cover. A lot of people don't like it. I'm not crazy about the style of artwork, but I do like the idea where you have these different incarnations, as it were, of the Beatles kind of meeting themselves at this movie theater, the Capitol Movie Theater. And the logo just up there in the upper left-hand corner, just tucked out of the way. Let's look at the back cover real quick. Here's the back cover. I'm just trying to get some of that shine off from my lighting, but it ain't working. Here's the song list, and it's nice because they say what film it's from. Because we didn't know that the song Magical Mystery Tour was from the TV film Magical Mystery Tour. Some liner notes. It's a wraparound cover, so the image from the front cover continues to the back cover, and I do have, I'll see if I can show it to you real quick, a promotional poster which is the same artwork. So let's see if we can get that. Alright, here's the poster that I have. I actually purchased this about a year or two ago at an estate sale, and just couldn't pass it up. Didn't really do anything with it. It was all mounted mounted to this board and had the plastic in it, and like this little thing, Give the Gift of Music logo in the corner. But that's the full wraparound cover picture, which again is pretty nice. So that's down here in the Beatles corner. Now, something else I totally forgot that this came with is this Beatles souvenir program. Kind of like, when you'd go to the movies years ago, you could buy a souvenir program tie-in with that movie, and this kind of replicates that whole thought. A little bit about each of the films. I actually, again, I forgot this was even in here because I kept it inside the record jacket, and but I keep the record jacket inside a plastic cover sleeve. So didn't even know it was in there. And then I have the record in the inner sleeve, which is outside of the jacket but inside the plastic. Okay. But this is pretty cool. This is like the first time I think I've seen this booklet in about 40 years. Which was up until today, maybe the last time I listened to this album. So let's look at the actual record. Now, as I mentioned, this is a copy pressed in Greece on the EMI label. I have no idea how I got this. A Greek pressing, because I would have bought all my Beatles albums. I'm here in the States at either a department store or a record store. It was never noted, to my recollection, it was pressed in Greece. But it does harken to that, that orange Capitol label style, the big old EMI, which would be on the bottom, but I'm facing it this way because the indicia for the actual songs is pointing this way, but maybe you can also point it that way as well. And ironically, it is the same orange as the Capitol record labels were, kind of the reverse of the Capitol colors. So there you go. Really, it's a nice sounding copy of this record. Not that I know what the American version sounds like because I don't have it. But this is a really nice sounding copy. Alrighty then. So here we go. Real music. Just in case you forgot what it looked like, there it is. So here's a few things. Now, as I mentioned in the close-up, my copy was pressed in Greece. I do not remember where I got it from. It had to be a record store at the Rockaway Town Square Mall. I have a feeling, at the time I used to work at Caldor Department Store in Morris Plains, and they had a nice record department. I have a feeling I got it there, but why it was a import, I have no idea. So anyway, here in the U.S., here's some things of note. The song I Am the Walrus. This was the first release here in the United States. The first time the British UK stereo mix appeared here in the States. And if you listen to it, it's got that 6-beat open instead of a 4-beat opening at the beginning, which is the opening. Also, A Hard Day's Night and Ticket to Ride issued in the United States for the first time in true stereo. And first time that... Nah, never mind. Anyway, so A Hard Day's Night, yeah, I'll say it, was only released here in the United States on the Capitol record album on 62 to 66. Prior to that, it was released on the United Artists Hard Day's Night soundtrack LP. However, at some point, I think around 1980, the United Artists label was getting phased out, so it was issued maybe a little bit later than that. So, but eventually it was released on Capitol, the Hard Day's Night American album. I should have known better. I should have known better than to... No. The song I Should Have Known Better has on this album a unique stereo edit with the harmonica intro error fixed, so giving us yet another maybe variation on that song. Again, my copy was pressed in France, or Greece, sorry. All of these songs, with the exception of the song I Should Have Known Better, every single one of these songs was released on the Red and Blue albums, 62 to 66 and 67 to 70. So kind of, the only one that was not released was I Should Have Known Better. I just said that. However, let's see. And I Love, now in addition to that, so all those, the song And I Love Her, You Gotta Hide Your Love Away, and The Long and Winding Road were all issued on the Love Songs compilation. I thought Let It Be was as well, but I scanned my copy. I didn't see it on there. So there you go. So this is the third compilation album that those songs are issued on, as well as the song Get Back was also on the Rock and Roll Music album. So go figure. So those 4 songs, this is the third time that those have been... Wait until we get to the next album, the 20 Greatest Hits album. It's even... Man, we're going to get that video up next week for you. So here's kind of here's the songs, all right? Got A Hard Day's Night, I Should Have Known Better, Can't Buy Me Love, and I Love Her, all from A Hard Day's Night. Now, granted, on an album such as this, you want the theme songs for those movies, those films, on the album. So, granted, we have to have those on. But, okay, I Should Have Known Better, good choice. That wasn't on a previous compilation. But, Can't Buy Me Love and I Love Her, why couldn't they put maybe I'm Happy Just to Dance With You and Tell Me Why? instead? Why would we have to reuse some songs? Let's do a couple more album cuts, right? Help. Now, the other interesting thing is, I believe, well, this is Preston Grease, so none of these are the Dave Dexterized songs. So Help does not have that James Bond intro to it. If you have a United States pressing on Capitol, let me know. Does that have it on there, or is it a clean intro for Help? So, and then I'm digressing. Then from that movie, we've got You've Got to Hide Your Love Away and Ticket to Ride. Now, why, again, these songs appeared previously. Why not? I Need You I Need You was on the Love Songs album. But how about Another Girl? How about another album track, a little bit more obscure maybe? Granted, we don't have a lot of songs to work on from the soundtrack, but, instead of You've Got to Hide Your Love Away, maybe, again, I Need You. Or Another Girl would have been a good one. Something like that. Not reusing the same songs. Now, side one closes out with the song Magical Mystery Tour. Why don't we just shift that to the opening of side two? Maybe as a time constraint issue or something. I don't know. But kind of awkward in my opinion. I Am the Walrus was the only Magical Mystery Tour song. But, yeah, we have, that's a good choice. We had it on Rarities, but that was a special mix. We'll keep that. Maybe we could have included Flying as well. Yellow Submarine, of course, we need to have that from that film. All You Need Is Love. Kind of an overdone song, even though it didn't appear on the on Love Songs or Rock and Roll Music. But why couldn't we have gotten, instead of that, how about I don't want to say Hey Bulldog because that was on Rock and Roll Music. How about It's Only a Northern Song, or It's All Too Much, even All Together Now, although we'd let that, I don't know. But how about a George song? All these songs are written by John and Paul, so why not slip a George song in there instead of All You Need Is Love? Let It Be, Get Back, Long and Winding Road. Of course we need Let It Be on there. Get Back's pretty much overdone, and so's the Long and Winding Road. So why not close the album with Two of Us, and maybe again throw a George song in there, I Me Mine, or For You Blue. That would have been a nice sampling from the Let It Be movie, right? Right. That's how I figure it all out. It is a decent album with the staple songs, but at this point in time, these compilations are getting a little long in the tooth. And in my opinion, how contrived this package was, where maybe Capitol instead may have, or EMI, could have taken maybe another 2-record type of deal and maybe put the highlights of A Hard Day's Night. Well, maybe something a bit more varied and enjoyable. But all in all, it's a cool package. I do like the artwork, like I mentioned. I think it's a cool concept. So there you are. Unless you're hardcore diehard, I wouldn't really recommend putting this in your collection unless you really had to have it. So there you go. The Beatles, Real Music from 1982. And until next time, it's me, David, here in the Beatles Corner. If you are looking for vintage vinyl, visit me at jerseyboymusic.net. And I might have something there that brings you to my eBay store. So until next time, happy collecting. I'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks so much for watching.